The Link2ICT Free School Meals Eligibility Checking Service provides an online form which enables parents, carers, or schools on their behalf to check their eligibility for free school meals and therefore Pupil Premium funding. The data is checked against the Department for Education's Eligibility Checking Service, the ECS. This in turn checks against the Department for Work and Pensions, Home Office and the Benefits Office. In addition, as parent circumstances frequently change, the system will update regularly and the school will have access to up-to-date information. The data is checked every Saturday evening. If a child is eligible and drops off, you'll be notified, and vice versa. If you have a child who wasn't eligible when you first applied, they become eligible, the system will notify you. There's two ways that you can go in to do an application. You can either go in as a new applicant or an existing applicant. If we go in as a new applicant for now, as this is a demonstration site, the first sentence there reads, I am in receipt and can provide the relevant proof of one of the following benefits. We have changed that on our main site to read words to the effect of whether you are in receipt of or not. By filling this in, you'll be helping your school attain the maximum level of Pupil Premium. So there you'll see a list of all the benefits, which is the same UK-wide. It then gives you a list of the details that will be needed to complete an application. If you click yes to continue, the first page you'll be presented with is a page for the parent or the carer's details. Now don't forget, the parent can fill this in either at the school premises or online in the comfort of their own home, or the school can fill it in on the parent's behalf. You just need verbal confirmation from the parent to do that. So I'll fill this in as if I'm the parent. So you first are required to put in a title, your first name, your last name, the identification number. So this can be either your national insurance number or the National Asylum Support Service number. So that's your national asylum number. Your date of birth. The year needs to be in full. The relationship to the child. Now, with regards to the contact information, the parent can supply an email address. If they do, when they complete the form, they'll be emailed a reference number, or in the future, if there's any eligibility changes, they will be sent an email. This isn't required, but if a parent wishes to do so, they can. If this isn't going to be inputted, we need to untick the button. They can also provide a landline telephone number and a mobile number if they wish. Now next, the address. The address is a quick lookup service. So you enter your postcode and find the address and choose from the list. You do have a manual address data option as well. So if, for example, you have a new build, you can manually input the address, or if the address lookup service has not brought that up, then you can do it this way also. So you can save and resume later if you wish to do so. If not, click save and continue. Now that's all the information that's required from the parent or the carer. Next is the child's information. So you need to put in the first name, the last name, child's date of birth, their gender, and their school. Now the school will be a drop-down list here of all the schools that buy in to this service in your particular local authority. You just choose the school. We have set up various different portals. So there is a portal for our Birmingham schools, a portal for our Walsall schools, etc. So you will not see the same school on different portals. Okay, there's two statements then you can click. If you're the parent or the carer filling this in, it's the top statement. If you're the school doing it on the parent or the carer's behalf, it's the second statement. you save and continue. So it does bring up a review page. Now a point to note is that if you've made a mistake on any of the two previous pages, you cannot move on to the next page. So the mistake will be brought up in red and you need to redo it. So this review page then, you confirm the statement and you submit. Okay, so because it's a demonstration site using the same data, sometimes it can bring you up as eligible and sometimes it doesn't. If you're not eligible, it will come up in red. If you are eligible, it will give you a reference number, and also just at the bottom there'll be a link for adding another child. So if you click on that, you can put in the details for another child at the school. In that case, the parent would not need to put in their information again. You just need to put in the child's information. Okay, so our Link2ICT online free school meals system, what are the benefits to the parents? So it removes the potential stigma, as parents can apply direct online. As you can see, an application only takes a few minutes to do and it will give you an answer straight away. If it has come up as not eligible, the system will still store the data. So if there is an eligibility change in the future and the child then becomes eligible for a free school meal, the parent doesn't need to do anything. They don't need to bring in any documentation. The school will be informed straight away. This offers a faster, simpler and more convenient application process. It delivers fast response of the notification of entitlement. It reduces application errors because it's a computer-assisted validation. It removes the need for reapplication where eligibility continues. Now the benefits are to the school, so there will be an increase in eligible pupils that were not previously known. It provides up-to-date information as the data is checked every week. Saves a lot of administration time, so you don't need to make copies of any application forms or copies of any documentation. It encourages reluctant parents to register for free school meal entitlement where they previously would not, and maximise funding through Pupil Premium. It's available for maintained nurseries, schools, sixth forms and academies. So this now is the Link2ICT online free school meal back office system. So there's two screens obviously. There was the application, which we've done, and now is the back office system. When we set up a school for this, we normally recommend you have one main admin user at the school. So that person will have complete access to this. So we will set up a username and password for that person. That person then can nominate however many other users that they want to, up to a maximum of 5, and give them various access. So I'm going to log into this system now. Now the first thing that you're presented with is an eligibility list. That's in alphabetical order. There's quite a few things that you can do from this page. If you wanted to print this list, you can download to a PDF and print it. So it gives you the child's last name, first name, so last name is in alphabetical order, their date of birth, their gender. It gives you a reference number for each application, tells you the current status. There is a note section which we'll come to shortly. So the last check section at the end, this should be up to date for the Saturday before, because all the data is checked every Saturday evening. As this is a demonstration site, those dates aren't valid. Now to go into an application, you click on a reference number, and it gives you quite a lot of detail there about the application. So who made the application, when they made it, the address, the status. If the parent hasn't added a sibling, the school can add a sibling. You can amend an application if there's any errors. School transfer as well. So if you're transferring this particular applicant to another school, you can click on the school transfer button. As long as the other school buy into this system, then you can transfer all the data across to them. So this is showing us now the current status is eligible. You can change this status. So for example, if they're inactive, so they've left at the end of year 6, for example, you can choose that. So that child's details then don't sit in your list anymore. Now there is a note section here as well. So for example, if you wanted to update your MIS system to say that they are receiving a free school meal, you can put some details in there, like you've updated the MIS on the particular date that you did that. Gives your child's eligibility history as well. So if there's any eligibility changes, say for example in the 6 years, all those will be noted there. If the child is coming to you from a school where they already have this, the history can be sent over as well. If I just go back to the eligibility list, under the school notes, it gives you a quick snapshot of when you updated the MIS. Every time there is a change in eligibility, the main admin user will be sent an email to say that they need to log in because there's been a change. If they log in, click on the Changes tab. It will give you a list of the changes that have taken place. You can have a look at a day-by-day list as well, which takes it up to 20 days. Or you can have a look at a 3-month list. Now there will be some applications that are sitting in the Save Not Found section. So this is where maybe there's some information that maybe isn't correct, or it's not a straightforward application. You won't have many of these, but you may have some. Now with applications like this, the data is checked every single day for 30 days. If at the end of 30 days it's still sitting here, that means that the child is not eligible. It is advisable to speak to the parent in relation to these applications to check the data. There is a searches tab as well, so you could quickly search under a particular date of birth, the status, or even the postcode to work out how many free school meal children you may have under that particular postcode, or a name. Now the bulk transfer tab is particularly useful to secondary school. So if you are a primary school, primary feeder school for a secondary, you say for example have 50 pupils going to a particular school, you can choose the school, click on the number of children that are going there, and just transfer the data straight over. So this will, for example, will be done at the end of year 6 at a primary school, so around July time. So then that child no longer sits on the list for the primary school and goes straight over to the secondary school. So particularly important for the secondary school because they then don't need the parent to reapply. They've got all the data and all the history. Okay, now moving on to the school information tab. So it gives you information here about the school, URN number, the address, etc. Now in this blank box here, on the main site sits the main admin user's details for the school. So it's via here, the main admin user can then nominate other users and give them various access like application only access or read only access, or like they have complete access. So hopefully you can see that it's a very simple to use system. Powerful in what it does, and it's very reactive, but it's very simple to use. This should increase eligible pupils. It should let you know about people that you may not already know about, therefore increasing Pupil Premium when it links to your Ever 6 funding. If you don't have any of those, then if anything, this should cut a lot of admin time out, because now you do not need to fill in any paper applications. You do not need to send the parent away. Everything can now be done on this. UK-wide, we have 2,000 schools using this, with 330 in Birmingham alone. The Link2ICT online free school meals check-in service will ensure that your school is getting the maximum Pupil Premium, and also make sure that all the data is up to date when it comes to census time. So for more information, you can email me at mohammed.a.hussein@servicebirmingham.co.uk or call on 077 302 81894. Thank you very much for your time.